Hello and welcome to Winning the War with Worry, Part 8. Daniel McNeely is a pediatric neurosurgeon in Halifax, Nova Scotia, so he's used to fielding questions from nervous parents and patients. But it was a first for him when an 8-year-old patient had a specific request. As the child was being wheeled to surgery, while clutching his stuffed animal, the boy, whose name is Jackson McKee, said, "Doctor, my bear is ripped. Please stitch him up." Jackson has a cyst on his brain and a chronic condition called hydrocephalus. The surgery was to drain fluid and relieve pressure on his brain. Dr. McNeely assured the boy he would stitch up his teddy bear, and he took the task seriously. After he successfully performed surgery on the boy's brain, he placed the bear on a table, put on blue gloves, and used leftover stitches from the child's surgery to repair an underarm tear on the bear. He even fashioned an anesthesia mask to put on the bear. In fact, that was another first because McNeely, who had never tweeted before, went on Twitter to post a photo. He wrote, "Before being put to sleep, patients ask if I can fix teddy bear. How could I say no?" Jackson's father said, "Dr. McNeely is one of the nicest human beings I've ever met." He said his son was thrilled when he woke up to see his stuffed buddy had been stitched up just like him. McKee said that his family deeply appreciates McNeely's medical care over the years, as well as his human touch. Whenever we get there, we're terrified to death, but every time we talk to Dr. McNeely, we feel better. Christians are supposed to make people who are hurting feel better. They know we all have times in this fallen world when we need this fruit of the Spirit from someone else. And we feel incredible joy when we are gentle and we help hurting people. We all have times where we need to be treated gently. The Greek word communicated the idea of power under control. It was used in New Testament times to describe an animal that was domesticated, like a wild stallion that had been trained to obey words of command or answer to the reins of its rider. The animal was just as powerful as it was before it was trained, but that power was now exerted at the right time and in the right amount. It's easier, granted, to be gentler with children, sometimes harder with adults. But gentleness and self-control go together. Proverbs 25:28 says, "He who has no rule over his own spirit is like a city that is broken down and without walls." In other words, without gentleness, you've got power but no control over it. Ungentle people are like an unwalled, vulnerable city. Here's some more word pictures to help us understand power without control. Hurricanes, like Katrina. The entire nation of Venezuela seems to be an example of uncontrolled power these days. The current spread of the coronavirus that is happening. In contrast, Proverbs chapter 16 and verse 32 says, "He who is slow to anger is better than the mighty, and he who rules his spirit than he that takes a city." This tells us that gentle people, self-controlled people, are actually very strong people. According to this proverb, there is a sense in which a gentle person is stronger than a warrior, because it takes more strength to control your temper than it does to storm a city. So gentleness doesn't mean weakness. In fact, it means just the exact opposite. Gentleness isn't passivity either. The gentle person is intentional and involved with what's going on. They stand for what is right, and yet they are controlled. In his commentary on this text, Barclay sums this all up by saying, "A gentle person is someone who has every instinct under control. Every impulse, every passion, every ounce of strength has been harnessed." And may God bless you as you practice gentleness in overcoming anxiety.